Hello folks, this is Sue and today we are going to review the Hifiman Ananda. Thanks Starpickers Audio Library for sending us the review unit. So now let's begin. Hifiman Ananda is a really big headphones. My head is actually quite big by standards, but when I put the Hifiman Ananda on my head, I actually still need to slide the slider here to the smallest size possible. So if you have a really big head, then it is good because you can adjust it all the way, and this is a really large headphones by any means. But if you have a really small head, then I will recommend you to really test out the headphones first at the audio store before you buy it. Build quality is pretty good, but for $700, I believe Hifiman can do better with tougher and better materials. The ear cup here is definitely plastic. The hinge is metal. Although I think it builds better than the Hifiman Deva, but I believe Hifiman Sundara has a better build quality. Although Hifiman Sundara is selling for cheaper price. However, I have to say that the build quality never bothered me, as I think it is still a pretty good and pretty durable headphones. Not only the build quality is good, the comfort level is actually pretty good too. The clamping force is close to non-existent. It is very light, but it do clamp nicely to your head, and the ear pad here is very large. So I believe people with very tall and big ears still can find themselves fit comfortably in the ear cup. And the cushion here is pretty thick, and the material although seems quite similar to the Hifiman Deva, but the build quality and finishing is way better, and it is really a very comfortable headphones to wear even all day long. Hifiman Ananda is actually quite lightweight headphones for the size. It is actually only weight 400 grams, and the Audis LCD2 is actually weight at 595 grams for comparisons. And the Hifiman Deva is 360 grams, but Deva is much smaller headphone than the Ananda. So I believe Ananda is managing the weight really well, and it is really comfortable when you put it on your head. The headband here is very efficient to disperse the weight evenly on your head, and it is really, as I say multiple times in this video, in this review, the comfort level is really great. Despite of the planar magnetic driver, Hifiman Ananda is actually a super efficient headphones, and you can drive it loudly with anything. I have a Tempotec V1A, which is not a very powerful DAP, but you actually drive it efficiently. I can drive Ananda loudly even with something like the Tempotec Sonata HD Pro and the Centrance Audio DAC Port HD. So this is a very efficient headphones to drive, but if you want to hear the bass out of the Hifiman Ananda, especially at the control of the composer of sounds, you definitely need the higher ends headphone amplifier and deck to shine with it. I appreciate that Hifiman is including two cables in the package. One is terminated in 3.5mm stereo jack, and another one is terminated in 6.35mm stereo jack. However, the build quality and the finishing of the cables is a little bit not as premium as you can expect it from a $700 headphones. For the price, I definitely see better cable, but this thing is really doable, and I don't actually have any complaint of it. Although I really wish Hifiman can actually including a more premium headphones cable, especially the connector here are very third party. So now, the sound quality. The Hifiman Ananda is a very neutral and balanced sounding headphones, and the transparency is really top notch. Although the transparency level is really great and exceptional, the treble is actually not bright and don't fatigue your ear easily. I won't say that the treble is smooth, but the treble is not bothering me at any way, and the sibilant issue is very well controlled. But the transparency in the overall spectrum of sounds, including treble, mid-range and bass, is exceptional. Treble is well extensive to the very top end and sounds relatively clean and transparent. Mid-range is full and cohesive and very natural sounding. The bass is very tight, clean and extend really low, but the impact and slam is quite lacking here. And overall, I find that the sound signature of Hifiman Ananda is very comfortable, natural sounding and coherence. It is a super comfortable sound that when you listen to it, you actually can fall in love, and it is a very comfortable sound, largely because the soundstage is very good, very airy. The soundstage is very open sounding, spacious, really spacious here. And among the instrument, it actually has enough space to breathe. So when the music is playing, actually the sound is very airy, but it is not bright. It's very airy, very spacious kind of sounds that is really comfortable to listen to. I actually fall in love with Hifiman Ananda since day one I listened to it. The sound quality is really good, natural and very comfortable to listen to, and the overall technical capability of this headphone is very good. Like I said, soundstage is excellent. It is wide, tall and very deep. Imaging and positioning are very good. You can pinpoint the instrument. It is really a very high technical capability headphones, especially for the price. It is really good. As a planar magnetic headphone, speed and decay is very snappy, very quick. However, like I said, this is not a dynamic headphones, especially in the bass. Although the bass is tight and clean and very audiophile kind of quality alike, but the bass impact and slam and the overall quantity of it will not satisfy anybody that looking for more bass, not necessarily bass head kind of quantity, but anybody looking for a kind of dynamic and active kind of bass might get better headphones at the similar price range. But for this price range, for $700 especially, this is a headphone close to $1,000 when it is launching. To be honest, it is actually quite hard for me to find a really weak point in terms of sound qualities, except that the bass impact and the slam. But I am perfectly happy with the overall sound presentation and quality, since that it is actually a very natural sounding and comfortable sounding headphone. Like I said, it is that kind of sounds like some kind of people, when you see it, you naturally will fall in love with it. You simply cannot hate it. You simply love it or like it, but you simply cannot hate it. Like I said, this is not a dynamic headphones, and this is not really the kind of headphones if you are looking at a lot of bass or more bass. This is definitely not the headphones for you. But if you are looking at headphones that have high technical capability, such as soundstage, details levels, imaging and positioning, such as the balance of sounds, such as the spaciousness, such as those kind of things, you know. If you are looking at those things without sounding sterile, clinical, without sounding harsh, Hifiman Ananda is actually a pretty decent choice at $700. So, will I recommend the Hifiman Ananda to you? Well, this is a difficult question to answer. I mean, for the price, $700, for my preference and overall performance of Hifiman Ananda, I definitely think that it can sell higher than the $700. Especially, I think this headphone is on par, if not exceed the sound quality level of Sennheiser HD800 series. However, the Hifiman Sundara is selling for around $300 in Malaysia. Although that thing sounds a little bit clinical and sterile to my ears, and definitely not as coherent, natural and comfortable kind of sound quality as Hifiman Ananda. In my opinion, Hifiman Ananda is definitely a step up of Hifiman Sundara, but Hifiman Sundara has really hit the points where the price to performance ratio is explosive, is really good, excellent kind of price to performance ratio for the current street price. In my opinion, if I am buying a headphones today in $700, definitely I will get the Hifiman Ananda. This is really a transparent headphones, but without sounding harsh and sterile. And don't forget that Hifiman Ananda is a very efficient headphones to drive. You don't need a very powerful amplifier for it. But for people with lower budget, I actually think they should consider the Hifiman Sundara. But if you can pay a little bit more, get the Hifiman Ananda. You will not regret, because the sound quality, at least to my ears and from my memories, because I don't have the Sundara now, the sound quality is actually a step higher, or at least 2 steps higher than the Hifiman Sundara, in my honest opinion, and it is just my preference. The Sundara is a very high technical capability headphones, but that thing does not sound as natural and musical and cohesive as the Hifiman Ananda for sure. So long story short, if you have $700 of budget, and if you are looking for headphones with high technical capability but without sounding sterile and clinical, and you really need a lot of transparency in your music, this is it. This really is it. I believe any audiophiles out there, maybe you, I believe you are audiophile, or else you won't look at this video at all. If you are an audiophile, okay, or at least you love to listen to music, try the Ananda. Try the Ananda. Seriously, try it, because I believe you will love how it sounds. So guys, this is my review of Hifiman Ananda. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. And thank you for watching the video. And please click the notification bell if you don't want to miss the upcoming content. And that's all. See you again guys. Thank you and jumpa lagi.